hemfudin ho enti me mpese mese wo mre pii no me pese me de ukọ judgment na judge no emaaye a oma order a enam so a Dormaahene ene Dormaahene ene Farouk eka osan call court say court en stay sa order no se ne be ya omo mfa nye adwuma eno ena me pese me ne wo komu ede ba nnuama ena judge ne kaaye me pese wo fa the judgment me pese wo fa the judgment no wo fa judgment na wako page 26 judge no heading no say determination of the application determination ekwan a offer so a odi ne judgment eba ene wo make statement bi eno ena me pese me ne wo ye kan me nsusu se me nim nyansa esen wo ente me pese wo fa wo judgment no me de bia to me page ho wo kwa abehunu se judgment to me de ato ho wo betimi a download na watu obu ase enti pages na me kan nyina na watwetwe to ho enti wo kwa na wakokokan maame no eba no ene wo kan se o say on a careful consideration of the affidavit evidence and the arguments contained in the statement of the case file on behalf of the parties, the genuine issues for these court considerations are o say me hwe nneoma mu nyina maka eni ehunsem nyina enneoma mi etemwani a court no be gina so na wodi na temwo beba eni ne edikan or see whether the applicant has fulfilled the basic requirement for his name to be entered in the National Register of Chiefs. Or see ansana medi order bi beba ana medi instruction beba no ese se mehwe se nipa na waba menimu se mema yemfa ne nkrata enko ne yemfa ne din enkas Ghana ahemfudin ho no ese se mehwehwe se na mehunu se ampa o se fata say yedi ne din eka Ghana hemfudin ho ana enti that was the first a year or the two ho ebusiafo me pese mutinwoma biase sampa konwa at any given time nipa ba ko pe ene tena so at any given time ohini ba ko pe ene tena so enti se yamfa ne se judge no ehunu se ampa sampa konwa no obi etisu dada obi enam amambre ne amane kwan so etisu dada enka onko that stage o say ansa na meka say yemfa wo nkrata anko na yemfa wodin enko ka Ghana ahemfodin ho no esese mehwe se ade a esese nipa ye na yedi ne din eka Ghana ahemfodin ho no waye saade na na that was the basic standard that was set here enti se judge ne konanimu eko oda se mumfa na nankrata ne nko ne yemfa ne din ka Ghana ahemfodin ho a na judge ne pese wo kire wo se ampa na amiti ade a ese nipa meti ne yedi ne din eka Ghana ahemfodin ho enti mesraw read page 26 at any given time nipa ba ko pene tena konwa ne so enti senka obiti akonwa ne so dada a wonam mmra kwan so no tena so onam amamre kwan so no tena so a enka judge no enka se yensan fa enkrata bi nko ne yemfa obidin enko Ghana ahemfodin ho a kire se ona Sampamanhene tieni ye so ho enti wo hwe or see the to determine whether the stool is vacant and the processes that were followed to get somebody ansa na judge ne beka say yenkona obi yemfa obi din koka ho ese judge ne hunu say akonwa no obi ntiso nipa na wote so obi tiso so a bia na nipa no wamfa mra kwan so na wotena so enti ese a wo hwe say akonwa no vacant because at any given time nipa ba ko pe ene timi tena akonwa no so enti dian na judge ne yeye yenko page 29 me pese oti bibiasi page 29 ne yenko hwe adibi page 29 of the judgment page 29 of the judgment no you call the second paragraph Yenko the second paragraph. Or see, event which have occurred before the Sampa Traditional Council and actions taken by the council will speak to this. And will say, now, irrespective of the counter deposition and submission made on behalf of the first respondent and the second interested party, it can be gathered from the affidavit evidence that the Sampa chieftaincy issues were resolved by His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II through customary arbitration, after which the applicant candidature was approved by the first interested party, that is the Traditional Council. Or see, emfa Nindiye Bunu Regional House of Chiefs for Bejina Menimo Kaye, and India Sam Modria lawyers Kaye. Na mehwe nneoma ewo manimu a eda di pefe se Sampa enkonwa sem ehu asem ekopie wo His Royal Majesty a eye Otumfuo Osei Tutu animu ema ne ka asem ne wieye eno ena agina so a the Traditional Council no egi Nana Samba Jafla etu mu a odi ne forms ba ya approve no. And indirectly the judge has determined that the stool was vacant. Judge na kase na akonwa no obi ante so. Akonwa no nsem a na ye pri no ekopie mu wo Otumfuo anim ema yewra edi asem no. Eno na agina so a Nana Samba Jafla ye gini tu mu a oswai kire the council members. And a council members swai kire na omudi nachi ekopie mu wo menhye a omo yesa. Enti judge eka asem we. Na benya mranim ni a woye high court judge na obeka say he still think he can make somebody achieve wa na mo odi madwene edi agro enti judge ne determine say why na wo wie ye no en wo san ko animu no ka say eno ne agina so a Nana Samba Jafla ye gine tu mu enti judge ne se ya ka asem na wie asem na ye ka ye no hwan na di nkonim eye Nana Samba Jafla ebusuya na di nkonim omudi nkonim na omugina so na omudi yi Nana Samba Jafla oswai kire ne manfo na omo nso swai kire na okopie mu wo yewra animu enti we very simple enti se akonwa to na ehu asem akopie ne ya kan wie na obi di nkonim na obi di nkuguo na obi a wadi nkonim ne ya wadi nkuguo nkrata bepie o bebi a abra akoto akasa ya ka asem na wie a na wo timenya obi a obeka se ampa obi nkrata akopie bebi ye be Gazzete na sabi em say mo kan a mo ntiase. Don't give your brain to somebody for him to use it for you. Emfa wadwene emma obi emma ne control ma wo mo ankasa mo mpa bi na mo nkan so ho mo mpa bi na mo nkan ye to so biom. The judge affirmed that Nana Kwadwo Masa is the only authorized person the acting president ne nsa shekrata asia e kire se sakrata no na edimo yenko page 32 the opening paragraph. Page 32 the opening paragraph yenko ho or see the respondents by its own actions giving recognition to Nana Kwadwo Masa II as the acting president of the Traditional Council. Furthermore, the second respondent also give due recognition to the acting president of the Traditional Council in the absence of substantive president as submitted before this court by the second respondent's lawyer. Or say, Nioma bia ye Sam Modria 4 year Yamamuti asiase jase hini etwere krata edi command Nana Kwadwo Masa in his capacity as the acting president. Any emra na Nana Kofi Sunu efiri mu no emre biara ye beba meeting bia no Traditional Council beba meeting no omo twere edi command Nana Kwadwo Masa minisia omo be twere no wo Bunu Regional House of Chiefs no omo twere Nana Kwadwo Masa din a omo twere se acting president. And the judge no eka say the acting president no eye Nana Kwadwo Masa and osan kan biom say or this court cannot turned blind eye to the applicant's CD forms duly signed by Nana Kwadwo Masa in his capacity as the president of the Sampa Traditional Council. Or see, court we entimi mmɔ n'ani engu so sɛ Nana Sama Jafla enkrata no nipa odimu a ɛyɛ Nana Kwadwo Masa on ɛyɛ the acting president of the Sampa Traditional Council no Nana Kwadwo Masa na ne nsa ɛhyɛ aseɛ. So ho enti enkrata mmienu yɛmfa ne sɛ enkrata 30 ɛna akɔpie wɔ the National House of Chiefs. Sɛ obi ase me ba ma ya Gazzete me ɛna court ne si nipa ɔsɛfata sɛ ne nsa hyɛ krataa se a yɛgyitu mu no ɛyɛ Nana Kwadwo Masa ɛna court no nso si ɔno nso na ne nsa hyɛ Nana Sangba Jafla krataa se. Okay, enti deɛn ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ biom enti sɛ nkrataa 30 ɛkɔpie National House of Chiefs a it doesn't matter. Why na court ne say ɔno na ɛsɛ sɛ ɔsign Nana Kwadwo Masa? Why na court ne say Nana Kwadwo Masa sign ne deɛ Nana Sangba Jafla? And that is all. Enti mesrɛ mo ɛma mo ntena hɔ ɛma ma mo lenge ɛne omu a ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo gyigye mo sika. Enti ɔmo ba no ɔmo ka no kora kyerɛ mo a na ɔmo ba sɛ mo ntua sika bia mo ntua. Nti de bia ɔmo ba na ɔmo atani asɛm no ɛde akyerɛ mo. Enti mesrɛ mo niye osani Nana Sangba Jafla enkrata ena court ne si ono ena wadi mu. Judge no nso eka se eye Nana Kwadwo Masa ono ene obi a odi mu a ese woye. The fact that Nana Sangba Jafla ni application forms ne nyina emiti provisions a ɛwɔ the Chieftaincy Act ne mu ahemfo mmra ɛwɔ Ghana. Court no ejitu mu se Nana Sangba Jafla ne nkrata no emiti saa ahemfo mmra esese nipa miti ansa na ye de ne din aka ahemfo din ho. Okan judgment no page 33. Okan page 33 you will see it here. Or see on scrutiny of affidavit and supplementary affidavit of the applicant and the first interested party, this court is certified that there has been a compliance with provisions of section 14 clause 2 of Act 759 as regard to the applicant. It is so because the affidavit evidence suggests that after the death of Nana Kofi Suno II, it is Nana Kwadwo Masa who has been held out and has been recognized as the acting president of the Traditional Council, the Sampa Traditional Council. In other words, Nana Kwadwo Masa, in his capacity as the acting president of the Sampa Traditional Council, has performed his statutory duty of notifying the first respondents of change to the membership of the Traditional Council and the approval of the applicants as per the submission of the CD forms. The Chieftaincy Act in the sea say ohini be free moi. And now, if there are changes in the Traditional Council, the Traditional Council no ni president. In this case, Dormaahene no ebe notify the region corona ye falling no. Say Dormaahene no anywhere near all acting no ene ye na juma eso wo notify. In our case no near na all acti eye Nana Kwadwo Masa. Enti court ni si jumadia constitution ne dia hye Nana Kwadwo Masa nsa se onye no eno na Nana Kwadwo Masa eyeye no se obem notify the Bono Regional House of Chiefs se ye hini no afrimu ene yasi foforo enti ni foforo na yasi no ya approve the bibia ne nkrata ni no mu di abremo, and that is how the constitution says. Enti judge no esai ka de biom or say at this point emra Nana Kwadwo Masa paid through the Traditional Council edi Nana Sangba Jafla enkrata no bae no, the same page 34 no judge no see at this point the law enjoys the first respondent the Bono Regional House of Chiefs in terms of section 14.2 of Chieftaincy Act 759 to also notify the second respondent. No discretion arises. Mutie or see no discretion arises except where there are demonstrable legal impediment. Or say traditional council no enya de enkrata ne ba ebe ka kire the Bono Regional House of Chiefs na. Ni ese Bono Regional House of Chiefs ne ye ne say mun so mu de sankrata no common National House of Chiefs. Na munni dwumadie bia wo mu muntimi nka se wenti yemfa nko ana wenti yemfa nko. So read page 34. And we can say unless say there are legal impediment eye emramo akonsidie bi judge ne koso e kan say enuoma eye emramo akonsidie se ne ensem bi a esida a yadi a ekire a the Bono Regional House of Chiefs omo judge lawyer no kro mo fa no eno kra kotu sa asem no eye owuo abdication and deposition. Na ono judge no ohwe sa nneoma nyina onhunu se ebi esi there wasn't any demonstrable impediment esi won kwan se ema omumfa na nankrata no enko. So ho enti mesre se mumma obi embedada mo emma monko yiyi sika enkotua sika bi ma omunni enu na ebe ma mobu befu na makasa obi asese mu nokre yemfa sika ento nokre ti nokre ne si nana samba jafla otoso mienu yenam amamre kwan so eyi no oswai kire ne na hemfo omonso gene tu mu swai kire no edi na chi emaye ba bebi akonwa ne hye emom be swai kire no nana no mo betena ase eye meeting egi ne CD form ne tu mu approve ye through their acting president omo bebo the Bono Regional House of Chiefs no amane judge ne say according to the Chieftaincy Act no omo ne dwumadie bi adi ne yeso omo di nyina ne say omo act to say post office me twere letter e de koma Abrantia Farouk Ahmed a post office phone ti me enti letter no enka say grammatical errors wo mu ana letter no na nka say 100 words and me twere no 50 words ne santi no omo mfa nko. They cannot say that. Omo madwuma ne say omo be deliver the letter to Abrantia Farouk ti anu wie a ono mbom ene wo questions bi ene ayi bi a ono na bebisa. Enti the Bono Regional House of Chiefs no eye conveying belt na no kra ye ba court omo lawyer e kan ye that they are conveying belt. In the judgment no judge ne can say they are a conduit, they are only carrying an information. Enti obi a ye di ade amawo a wudwumadi a wo ye nyina ne say wo carry ade no koma obi na wo ye na dwuma no na wo tena ho enu no hu esere say me matena si matia no mahwe ma reject na wanya high court judge na wetimi anya nananom asebi anka nananom di mu wo nimdi a mu wo enkurofo a mu nim ade e wo mu nkuro no mu a senka mu nim kura na ono nkwa na ye lawyer kura mpo a mu wo lawyers wo mu kuro mu a mbetimi consult wo na manya judgment ni bi di a kire wo na maka kire wo mu say na judgment ni tie na mu narrate wo na benya mu na makotena si na mu di mu nsa be hye mu da murifa mu na na adwuma badu ebedi manim na odi ne ngwase eba moso na mo nso muti ho na oye mu yodio mesremo enye sei na mu nana no mo kon ya o mo de kikire mu kuro no se sa suban we bi no mo de ya nka mu kuro no enru bebi a modure ya mo benya aheni a mo di a mo ko the ama aban enkriti a statutory body ema mo nko ho te mesremo ama mo ma mo ho kan emma Dormaahene ene Dormaahene emfa mu ni agro mesremo enti asembisa me bisa mo ne say does the Bono Regional House of Chiefs have the power to reject a CD form? So Bono Regional House of Chiefs omu wotumi say omu betimi aka say CD forms ade aba no ya disqualify ya reject yanko page 34 page 34 second paragraph no judge no make no very clear so baby am kan say ya no or say at this point the law enjoined you to in terms of the section 14.2 no of the act to notify this. No description arises. Unni anu ye bia, unni dwumadie bia eka ho. Ade bia ne hobium a wo de beka ho. Enti wo kan na abadan ho a o see consequently the first respondent ought to have complied with the provision of section 14.2 and 62.1 of the Act 759 by transmitting the applicant CD form to the second respondent. By this provision, the first respondent only act as a conduit for transmitting the CD forms of the applicant to the second respondent, period. Samukaya muntiasie Dormaahene any Dormaahene mesremo. Don't continue disgracing and then don't continue making foolishness of your education. Education na moko school na moko ene mesremo a samusua ade pa yi a ene muntu mo boase na monhwe nneoma bi page 34 last paragraph. O say emra the Sampa Traditional Council through the acting president Eddie Nanasaba Jafla forms by no munni tumi bia munni hwi ne ese mo ye nyina ne se mudi nkrata no ekoma national na munni mu act as conduit and what the period ba ho o se munni hwi ye biom enti utimi konya Dormaahene Dormaahene any other enhayemfo a who will not sit down and analyze things etimi di omachi etimi ka se ye yakoye meeting ne court ahye se ye mfa nko no ya reject na sebi say adi we no they are not using it sebi and that is the truth ehwo no enye mabusua fie o ena enye momumra ena modi ye adwuma wo ho eye Ghana mrapon a ye gina so edi ahemfo mra a ye Act 759 ebaye no eno ene ye di ye adwuma entemesre timamufo munya wo agro bi no mudi. They are only joking. They are only playing. Na se omo was to me ni dia. Se nkai no de omo wo se ahemfo bunu regional house of chiefs se was to me no etime decide dia. Ene se nka metime konya ahemfo be ye 20 bi na metuatua ska ma omo anka Dormaahene kura metime ato no. E mo mat Gazzete me as Dormaahene. If that is what is happening, enkai no de enkai is not a big deal. And one say manya sika bi na mato Dormaahene Dormaahene se wono opeska pa ento ono me peska kakra bi mana sankrofo na matoto mu na maba so yatu Dormaahene enti yemfa me Gazette forms nko ne yenko Gazzete me se me ye Dormaahene. Is this sensible? Ti mesramu mamu ntena ho enye mo hu lawless people, a group of lawless enkokrafo a mugu ha mumfa mra enye adwuma ene amamre enye adwuma enti munni saa tomi no emamu no mu hu na atemenya obi a ye friend also ye historian papa panyinemu a wako pension na wako ukuru enam say 1 to 2 nyoma yi enti no ohwe ne curtains a egu ne dan mu ohwe ne curtains na I to say ye friend say entoma bi a ye de sa bi entoma bi a ohwe curtains ne color yellow ne nkonwa yellow odi gu ne dan mu na wahye ne che na waye nanim te say ya chichiri na bodua so na on ka nokore bebi a wanyine duru yi app sebi esese utimi bie wano na ka nokore na hwe the way a wo ye video na ensem keka ene nneoma bi a wo ye na papa panyina over 70 years wo ye see na what is the essence of your education na wo ye no ana wo kan ade a wonti ase so ho wa ye wo ho waba na ebinom ka fake bunu agenda na wako okuro mu nsi no me ye adwene mu ni me ye bono ni enti I'm towing that line, forgetting say you have your brain to use. You are becoming a disgrace to your grandchildren, Mr. Ajumai. Mesro, go back and ya adwene no ye yusu anyame won charge you or the amayan say ye yusu ti mesro pebi na yusu until they don't have that power. They are only joking. Nti munya wo na omo ankasa no en joku saa ne yenko ti bibia ne ho saa enti mebisa mo biom say did the judge said or did the judge ask or does the law ask them to process, to reject, or what did the judge see? order na judge ni di mae no was it say monko process ana monko ye den yanko page 37 the judge was emphatic ogina page 34 so page 34 no judge no e kan bibi kire wo mo say o see muno or see the first respondent ought to have complied with the provisions of section 14.2 and 62.1 of the Act 759 by transmitting the applicant CD forms to the second respondent. By this provision, the first respondent only act as conduit for transmitting the CD forms of the applicant to the second respondent. Period. Or see, Buno Regional House of Chiefs, Mumu Juma dia mudi nyina ne te say post office for ye dia de ne bremu a na mumaji na mu dia koma national mo ne dwuma die bia di wo mu untia no wontime nya hwe wontime rejecti enu nti na akọ page 34 37 yen kọ page 37 na hwe ne ye judge ne ka kire won enti judge ne ka sen page 37 no o ka say accordingly the first respondent is ordered to receive and transmit tie we nyoma mienu pa da o ka kire no or say receive and transmit the CD forms of the applicant to the National House of Chiefs within 21 days from the day of this judgment. Munti brofo a mompe obi na won kan kire mo nananom a mam jai kwan ma Dormaahene ene Dormaahene edada Dormaahene de ono pesika o ono kura o ka kire na sebi ne yere kura won fa ne ma no ma o sika obeji o pesika ti bebi asika wo no ope enti mudi na chi saa na mu ye saa mu ye nuoma ekwakoto e ba bechi mu nyina kogum untimi emfa Ghana mra enhye wonsam enye bibi na me ka cho enti judge no was emphatic one kan kire mu se mu process bibia he used two words or say receive and transmit me hye mu se munkoji na mumfanko na wanya omuti ho se ye kotena se ye ko processi na se mu wosa atumi ni se mutimi ya adenti na court no judge ya mu sai ko se you are going for stay of execution se mu wosa atumi no se mutimi reject forms na why then did you go for stay of execution if you have that power mesremu na benya Joseph Adjuman papa panyinimu na benya na nka wo mbom nka wo mfie ko wani mu menem se wo chen Dormaahene ene Dormaahene nka bechi o matena hodi sebi ama o mu amambre ne nuoma pa bi ama o mu de to o mu brefo no na wo mbom kura na wada no hu simpapanyini na o kasa ye nuoma bi kekansem bi a sebi nkwadan kura wesi bi nkwadan kura enka ennam 1 to 2 nuoma yenti no wakọ pension uda so ye hala nti so obi bakura mpo se sebi kobo wo ba sum ne ye mouse kakura obeye and that is exactly what you are doing. It's a disgrace. Mesrel, value your dignity. Don't trade your dignity for anything. Enti abusiafo mesremo judge no was emphatic omuti ase in page 34 say modwuma mo ye nyina ne say muji na modi akọ mo ne dwumadie bia ka ho biom enti oba ya odi ohye ne ma wo mo no na o ka kire mo say mo se ne modwuma ne kire say muji na modi kọ no ma hye mo say munji na mo mfa nkọ na wo benya krachini a wako school obetimi akan we na wasen aka say the Bono Regional House of Ahemfo ekotrase ekotu aba ewoso me bompa ye se omutu aba no metumi atwere omudin di aba ne yanya list ne se ampa sa nanan we num ene ekotena hotu aba no and we make sure say emra no mu ene mu bedi Mr. Jumaya me ne kasa so oka kire me say Ahemfo no mo Bono no they are corrupt oka kire me ne discuss oka kire me o say the problems in Bono are because of them. But on the other side na waba ne kuruma emse nyoma ye diama no ombe hu no moma na envelope kakra bi pe na wasesa na dwen mobe kaya is the same person a wotimi church ye se ampa otumfo kin na ye frɛ no enye ye kura na ye frɛ no ye ne gi otumfo no ho na broni fita na di kin ne ma no ene owoni kurum enam say nneoma nko yi a wakọ ne kurom a omo pe kakra kakra ma no so no na no asesa wo ye enti integrity no eni ho. These are the kind of people mesremo emamu ndwan ma dwini emma nipa mienu miensa bi emomo play with it. Mo ankasa mo mpe document ni bi bra me page ho hwehwe me di documents ni nyina egu ho wontimi nkenkan akope obi mane explaining nkyerɛ wo na hu no na nsɛm a wo keka sɛ nioma bi a ne nsɛm bi a wo keka bi sɛ me fere program sɛ meka because ento asomo me hwɛ na nwumre ya na me ba small girl let me nkyɛn o bisame na dada hwan na ɛkasa yi ne ye kan ye no bi na wo ka ho asɛm na no say that's how it is. Ntimesremo they don't have that powers and they don't have that right. Send here who can page 34 of the judgment. They don't have, their duty is to deliver, take and deliver. The one who to vet, the one to process is the National House of Chiefs. Ntimesremo bibi eni ho agro bi no mu di munya omo enkwada agro na wo mani so omo dia ma ne bedru point bi a mra no bema omahunu na omagyan enti dia na judge no ekaye obi ebisa se can Farouk Ahmed alias Samodua be Gazzete as a paramount chief of Sampa? Ebusian answer ni no. Adentra make no. Page 29 of the judgment. Per second paragraph no. Judge no eji to musa ampa Sampa nkonwa asem ya kan wie. Na say na kan wie Mansa rules a eye Farouk ni maame e the petition by Emma yewra ekano through arbitration. Ene yedi nkunim. Nti ofa judgment na near odi nkunim no ene ye be Gazzete no. Nti the answer is no. Near tosu biom yenko page 34. Yenko page 34 na me twa wadwen ensu bi so emma page 34. Yenko, where do we go? Page 34 eh? Yenhwe page 34 eh? Let's go to page 34. Or say page 34, man. Sorry. Page 34 no say Nana Samba Jafla and Krata Nana Kwajo Masa and the Sani ye. And now of course so can say the Nkrata na for can say Omudia ko Mamin kind ye. Or say find myself or say no description except where this one of this or say as rightly argued and blah 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 as part of this. Therefore the deposition till or say therefore the deposition and argument that the first respondent has forwarded CD forms of another person which obviously was not signed by the recognized acting president of the Sampa Traditional Council. Or say some the Bono Regional House of Chiefs 4C omudi obi a eye abrantie Farouk nkrata akọ na judge ne say sa nkrata no nipa ne nhya sase no enye ono ondi mu page 34 or say which obviously was not signed by the recognized acting president of the Sampa Traditional Council. And the answer is no. And the Samodua Farouk, there is no way he can be gazetted. It's a matter of omu yusuno. Dini sika kakra kakra na Dormaahene na no me hu se no otika bimu efre eyi oba before the golden the new Bank of Ghana was sunwane no oba ho junction bi wo ho me hu se na o pie wo ho edika bi community jama so musika na enu bi na odi tuto sa nyoma no. And they are only deceiving them. So that cannot happen. The question now bisa say, can Farouk Ahmed alias Samodua be gazetted no as paramount chief of Sampa no? No. Because Sampa himself na ye kan ye no ne maame odi ncho. Na eyi ne nsa hye ne nkrata nanse no nso no ondimo Jaasehene ondimo Jaasehene eye eyi Uba ye kuruma oye timbo. Tinbo no eye enkwam enkwa. Ono no nti oye den kosan adehye enkrata ema obi. Enti Jaasehene enum kotena se na omokoye bibia endimo temesremo. Obi nso san bisa biom se adentina judge no refuse stay of execution no one ma wo mo emre foforo. Me ma we typical example. Me papa ne Nana Tufuhene. Nana Tufuhene frɛ me say abu beji na koto mall to bremi. Ena me ka kire Nana Tufuhene say Nana me hwɛ ball ma me hwɛ ball ne nwie na me nkoto maw. Ena Nana Tufuhene ka say debi kotobra. What does it mean? It means say me nkoto with immediate effect. Enti court no na share wom say omumfa Nana nkrata enko. Ena omudwane ba court ho say mesrew ma me ntwentwen so because me di assembly akopie appeal court. Na menim say sa asem no yedi a metimi adi nkunim nti ma me ntwentwen so. Ena judge ne si debi fakọ na mahu say wa hyeda say wo pese wo delay. Enti fakọ no is with immediate effect. Enti sanity enti mesremo it is not say na 21 days bi sai be kan biom. Debi. It is abu koto bibi brem. Oh papa me pese me hwe ball bi o se debi koto bra. Say na me betra se aka say ma half time endurance na mako. Debi I will just get up and go. Enti order na ne judge no refuse omo stay of execution no ne o kan che omo nyina ne say momfa enkrata no enko with immediate effect. Nti etwen kakra ahwe. Etwen kakra na omo delay a ye besi bia no nana ne lawyers bema maswati masutin so a bema monso maswati. Nti ye besere mo edi bia ni ho the powers a omo fi say ekura won a eno nti omo ti wa omo ye no mra ene kreti ye ena mra nso di mra so. Nti mesere mo Dormaahene ene Dormaahene ene satumi no omo wo satumi say yetimi rejecting krata enka omo nsan ma court say court ma omo nyan to ho because ultimate reject ya. Why will you even go to court say court mesrew ema menye adwuma na ase menye no? They don't have that powers. Omo di agro sebi enkwada agro bi na wo mani so munya wo ye be yusu mra no se ne ye de bia me ka no Nana Sangwa Jafla oni obi eni ntokwa. Nana Jafla ni obi eni ntokwa. Adeshi kronkono mo musi sampa akonwa ena omo yi no. Adehye no mo di nachi eni Nana no montra akonwa e di nachi e be introduce no e ma the traditional council members ejini tumu. Omo ji ni tumu wi en omo di nachi e be introduce ni kire the overlord of the stool a His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Tutu the second and ono nso gine tumu ogine tumu wie no eno oyi Nana musifo mo ba sampa in the middle of the Sampa Traditional Council and Nana Sangwa Jafla swai kire wom eno omo nso swai kire no omo wie ye eno omo di Nana Sangwa Jafla echi ebe pie mu wa santeman eno omo be swai kire sikadwa nti amammere ne nyina wa fafili owie ye and at the traditional council etnasi in the meeting and omo jitu mu and omo filling the CD forms through the acting president and omo de be dan the Bono Regional House of Chiefs. Mrano esisen mrane say at this point section 14.2 and section 62.1 of Act 759 can ye say Bono Regional House of Chiefs for nyina ye ne say omo di Nana nkrata no ebe dan the National House of Chiefs. They don't have any discretion. They are only conveying belt. They are conduit and nothing else. So, they don't have that power to do anything. Whatever they are trying to do, they are only playing. But send ye make no yansabeka ebia meeting na omoka so munya na yehunu ahemfukuro na no mo ho no omusai omu vote ye no to me a ema omu kwan so munko vote no when we take them to court they will show us ye de mra ne be ye adwuma se ne be ya ye nya lawless person bi te say Dormaahene ye na on say the region no emayen se sa na omo ya ade de an ye senka ahemfo no ka bo mu pe na omo hwe so o ene ye nkokuru we su techiman ebi atechiman nipa we ne pese odi hene obema omu 1 million pe no ma form o ma prepare yi Gazzete for no mu di akọ national ye region no ye gya to mu we ne pese okodi hene wo techiman ana we ne pese okodi hene wo ha. It's not done anywhere. Temesremo agrobi no mudi mamulenge ne ayi ntemesremo mo amwo sampa emmebuno amwo sampa mamefo amwo sampa emomu nada mo ombeba na mo yiyi sika na mo yesi eno na mo ya ma ne bedru point bi anam aka so obi agi musika edi mesremo a bon hunu se bibia ne ho ebesesa biom sampa nkonwa sam ya kan wi ye ni nam a ye kwa ye be nyina no arbitration na ye raka ya a judgment no wo ho no obi anko court enko setting aside ni omu kwa omu ba nyina ne say they are fighting against the Gazzete process of Nana Samajafla. And no more, they are not doing anything. The judgment nankasa de a judgment asantiman etna sukaye no. No one has taken it to court, and that judgment is valid. So, enti mesremu, there is nothing that is going to change. And me ti assembly say Mr. Jomai, the fake historian no our free dwene no papa ene Dormaahene ene Dormaahene me debia me ka say I me say like baby omo ye adwuma kora no they don't understand the institution na omo wo mu no because if they truly understand mate say say Dormaahene ene Dormaahene ene adwoman mensa no a obo ne ho samra ne so oye historian no ono omo ka say blast tool. Why na ka kire wo say akonwa tuntum ohini ene hweso ohini na bodyguard ehwe dan ne so enti sa akonwa tuntum be di wo hope na eno a kire say wada ne this year enti meme hwo dem meme wo me ya ahemkoa me som e wo fie ho na menya access to the place na me fa akonwa tuntum no ekwohye baby ana me loku dan ne so me obi amra wape na enu adane me dihye na enu amama dane dihye prekupa ametime di akonwa empanyinefo amodi akonwa manyine aduru sei na mo behave the same like this so na mo behave sei ebra sa asem yi bi asi wo the Bono regional house Bono that time na ye Bono Ahaf regional house of chiefs ye nuanom banafo na ne osefata so odi akonwa no na akonwa tuntum no ne ho na akonwa tuntum no kodi ebinom ho enam sa akonwa tuntum no wo mu ho no ena omu si omu hene ena omu a akonwa tuntum no omu nso si omu hene omu fa amamre ne amane mu si omu hene asem no be pie wo Bono Ahaf regional house of chiefs wa ema mu ka asem no ba den nam se mu bebre mu nkan mu hu nuama mu nkan enhu no ne asida na sese maye no I say galamsey chieftaincy madan mu hu galamsey fuo na eyi mu mpe amamre ne amane ensua na sikadie na aye modete se Dormaahene ono sika na sebe wudi sika ma ne kura me ba ona so me di sika ma ona fa wo yire ma me wo de be ma o hia sika ne se ne nkwa ne senti no onye ne yese fata ne mra ne se no he will not do it no wanya lawless people no mo ye in that case no a ekoye kope bi na munkan the Republic versus Osaberma okun yiredon Kwadwo Sito the first S party opanyine Kwadwo Fojo monko be sa case bi na monkan the Republic versus Osaberma okuyiredon Kwadwo Sito the first S party opanyine Kwadwo Fojo monko pe sa case ne bi nkan. The Supreme Court make it emphatic say the possession of the blast tool is not a condition precedent for the installation of a chief. Because a condition precedent and ye metimi ye boko na me bodo ati se Dormaahene kuro na mekɔ na metimi akɔyɛ bɔkɔbɔkɔ na makɔ raw na makɔfa akonya tuntum no pɛ na me de akɔhyɛ dan bi mu a enam sɛ ɛwɔ me hɔ pɛ no na madan de hyɛ prɛko pɛ. It's not done anyway. Enti mesrɛ mu ne omu yɛ ne nyina no ye bɛfa mmra kwan so na ye wie a enim sɛ mmra no ene binom bedi ebinom bedam definitely, because we want the Lord to work. Mesrɛ mu emabunu amwo the bunu region ye besrɛ mu ye ne bunu man ye ni to say like ye nyina ye kabom ene obi ye hene a ye friend Dormaahene dey bi over the bunu region na ye were diverse group of people coming together to form that region. Me a minimum ka say me ye nafanani me mami eye nafanani me mami shenyole dishi kronkron oba ehwo a ye wo ada enkrofo wo ho oba bunu region ho a ukọ your friend is saying ukọ Kintampo ye wo Wangarafo wo ho ye wo Bandafo wo ho ye wo Sekwafo wo ho ye wo enkrofo Badufo wo ho ene enkrofo bebre coming together to form that region called the Bunu region. Enti emama dwimu nyamo se ye wo one tribe bi pe na wo ho ena ye wo ohini bi a ye frɛ no Dormaahene ono ye Dormaahene kuro ho Dormaahene kuro kitikiti no ɛhɔ na ɔyɛ ohene. Enti mesremu niye oye enemu be fi se odi ye sampa na mumfa ho ye gya no mane sosidi ya enkade ye bechi odi beba mu nkuro ni nyina so enka obetena the Bunu Regional House of Chiefs ho na niye ono pese oye ohene no na odi na si hene mra no nso enkyere saa. Enti mesremu let us come together and fight these lawless people eye Dormaahene ene Nyonomahene omo the problem beba the Bunu region ahemfo problem say wo Bunu region nyina no they are the cause of them. Eba ya penomu ko rama ko peskadi sunya de yi say ba ya pena Nyonomahene okọ ha ko peskadi so enti enu a no mu create problem, unnecessary problem. So enti mesremu mrano ne mrani sie no yemfa sikan yemfa tuo ye di mrano ene amamre ne amane ene ye di beye ye nananom mo bran no mo chichire sampa ye medi obi achi emane mbesa kuro no enti ne mrani sie no oko se oko stay wo tumi se wotimi reject ya, why will you go for stay of execution? Omo ni sa tumi no agro bi no mudi monyai ye befa mra kwan so na ne esese ye bia no ye ni omo aye ne yenim se ye wi a sampa beba be ye the shining star for others to emulate send ye be ya ombetimi aboa ama pepeyo abetimi aye adwuma nti ye beda obi biara si obi biara nka na komanto ne yam bibi biara ne wa ebetimi asesa biom ne ya santiman aka no na waka ebisa ansa na santiman be kasa no na odi amamre atu bebi amamre se odi amane atu bebi amane se odi mranso edi atu bebi amrase oka ne nyina bom na odi ne judgment ba bebi odi be kobia no ebegina na sa pepepe ene ye ni mra ye mu mraso ye bedi mraso ni ahwe wo hwe Omanhene Dormaahene wo ye Omanhene wo ye judge na hwe ne all trances ene nuoma oka otime ka se court ka se ma mendisu otime ka se wo judge mua a wo san yo hene etime ka se meku nipa na domafo akofa lawyer na ya beyimi as a judge. So indirectly you are telling people to go and kill. This is the kind of people. If it was other jurisdictional, and this man will not continue to be a judge, because what his utterances means someone oka, but I don't blame him as a person. Me blame the handlers. Omo mo woni hono. Enye mmere nyina na ye mani pakasa. Na nsem ene nuoma wo ye. Officer he can use sampa to fight. Say a woman you can't fight to expand your territory. And there's fighting to expand territory, you know. Those fight was won some years, 100 years ago. And that is how come the great kingdom called Sampamanhene was formed, which Sampa is part of. Nefri tititi. Na Sampa because why Sampamanhene dia. Ni open so we be abeye. But amamre ni amanie eni mra ema wontimi ndu ye nso nkunimida. Ti meda Sampa fo emebunu emrantie ne mabawa mo Sampa. Moma ye nkoso ne mo ye kuro na so ndwe ho ban. Ohunu bibia na enya ka bi. Mesrew enjai wadwene no enhye nipa baako bi nsa. Me bana me ka bibia emfa ne te se eye Bible. Me ka bibi kire wa, don't take it as a gospel. Take it say assembi na abu aka. Let me go and confirm them. Into judgment ya mababe ka ho asem yi. Wan kasa nso kope bi na kinkan mo. Mamulenge kwa misakpo ekurobewu Daniel Okra oba munchen na obeka bibi kire mu a na nioma waka no udi oka na watwira to ho kope evidence ni bi na kan na hunu stay of execution